The same cosmic frequency that ignited the first nuclear reaction in 1942 is rebooting in 2026. Not to split the atom this time, but to fracture your perception of reality, to terminate the era of truth as we know it. Can you hear it? That sound? It's not the analog war drums of history books. It's the crackle of static electricity. The sound of tuning a rogue radio signal in the dead of night. The sound of encryption machines rewriting global destiny. The year, 1942. The world ablaze in physical warfare. But underneath the surface, a stranger revolution was running. A revolution of the mind, an information insurgency, an era where a message became a weapon deadlier than a tank. When we learned to see the invisible with radar, and when humanity first harnessed the raw energy of the atom. Why download this to you now? Because time isn't a flat line, time is a spiral loop. And we are approaching the nexus point directly above 1942. The cosmic clock has reset. Planet Uranus, the patron of revolution, tech, lightning, and sudden glitches, returns to the sign of Gemini in 2026. The last time it was there was 1942 to 1949. History never repeats verbatim, but it rhymes perfectly. What awaits us between 2026 and 2033 will echo those turbulent years, but this time, faster, more digital, viscerally personal. Brace yourselves. We are uploading into the era of the cognitive storm. To grasp the incoming data stream, we must understand the forces at play. In astrology, cycles are math and energy. Visualize Uranus, the sky god, the bolt from the blue, the cosmic wake-up call. Uranus shatters ossified structures. It is electricity, the internet, aerospace, AI, and radical freedom. Uranus doesn't ask if you're ready. Uranus strikes and reconfigures the landscape. Now visualize Gemini, the air sign, ruler of communication, the nervous system, commerce, and data points. Gemini connects the dots. They are the messengers. What happens when you run a 1,000,000-volt current? That's Uranus. Through a delicate nervous system. That's Gemini. You either get a flash of genius pushing civilization forward a century, or a total system crash, a short circuit. Uranus in Gemini is the inventor archetype, the hacker archetype. Old logic structures fail. Traditional education fragments because it's too laggy. When this transit last executed during the 1940s, humanity had to completely redefine what distance meant, what secrets meant. We stand before that exact threshold again. Only this time we aren't holding newspapers and radios. We are holding neural networks and quantum computers. Let's look into the mirror of time. What exactly happened when Uranus entered Gemini in 1942? First, velocity. War moved from land and sea into the air and the ether. Jet engines were born. The world suddenly shrank. Gemini rules the neighborhood. And WA2 proved that with bombers and V2 rockets, we are all neighbors. No one was safe just because they were far away. Second, information shock. The birth of the modern computer. ENIAC, 1945. A monster full of vacuum tubes calculating trajectories faster than any human brain. That was pure Uranus, the machine, in Gemini, the data. It was the era of Alan Turing and breaking the Enigma code. See the symbolism? Gemini is the cipher. Uranus is the electrical impulse that cracks it. Secrets ceased to exist. And third, the splitting of reality. Gemini is duality, the twins, two faces. The world literally split into two camps, east and west, the Iron Curtain. But more importantly, we split the very core of matter, the atomic bomb. Uranus rules uranium. In Gemini, the sign of division, we tore apart what was meant to be indivisible. It was a time of massive stress. Humanity's nervous system was overloaded with radio propaganda. Truth became relative. The word became a manipulation tool. Sound familiar? It should. Pause for a microsecond. Do you feel it too? The pressure to accelerate? The uncertainty of what is real versus simulated? Drop a comment below if you perceive this parallel with history. Your observations are data points in this grand puzzle. Now, shift to the near future. 2026. Uranus re-enters Gemini. The tech has changed, but the code remains the same. If the 40s brought the first mainframe computers, what will the 2020s bring? The answer is both terrifying and fascinating. Quantum computing and AGI, artificial general intelligence. If back then computers calculated, now they will think. Gemini rules language. Expect AI to perfectly master human speech in this window. Not just grammar, but emotion, intonation, the glitch of humor. The boundary between human and machine communication dissolves. You'll call the bank, talk to a friend on video, read an article, and you will have absolutely zero certainty if there's a biological entity on the other end or machine code. That is Uranus in Gemini 2.0. The end of objective truth. The era of deepfakes on steroids. In transportation, Gemini loves movement. In the 40s, it was jet engines. In 2027 and beyond, it's autonomous transit and vertical mobility. Drones, flying taxis. The sky above our heads will buzz like a hive. Physical movement becomes as fluid as sending data. But the biggest revolution will happen inside us. Uranus in Gemini attacks our education. A system that teaches kids to memorize facts crashes. Why remember dates when you have a chip in your glasses that tells you before you even think of the question? We will witness the interfacing of the human brain with technology, Neuralink and similar bridges, an attempt at telepathy through tech. But it has a shadow side. Remember the propaganda of the 40s? Imagine it now, micro-targeted individually to you, generated in real time by an algorithm that knows your fears better than you do. We face cognitive warfare, a war for your attention bandwidth, a war for your mind. Nervous system overload will be civilized disease number 1. Anxiety, fragmented focus, shattering. That is the dark side of Gemini under Uranus fire. Maybe you feel the weight now. The fear of being consumed by digital chaos. But remember one thing. Astrology doesn't deal in fear. Astrology provides the map, so we don't get lost in the simulation. And Uranus isn't the planet of doom. It is the planet of liberation. Its mission is to smash the old forms that cage us. When the external system of truth collapses and we don't know what to believe out there, we are forced onto the only remaining path. We must go inward. This period from 2026 to 2033 will be a technological shock, yes, but also the greatest opportunity for spiritual growth. Why? Because when you cannot trust your eyes and ears, due to illusions and deepfakes, you must begin to trust your intuition. Uranus in Gemini wants to teach us higher communication, telepathy, instant knowing. It wants us to stop thinking like machines, linearly, and start thinking like souls, quantumly. Here is your protocol to survive and thrive in the coming years. 1. Protect your nervous system. Silence will be the most expensive commodity. Learn to disconnect, literally and metaphorically. 2. Don't trust the content. Read the energy signature. Words can lie, vibrations cannot. Learn to read between the lines of code. 3. Be flexible. Gemini is the master of adaptation. Whoever clings to the old ways, this is how we've always done it, will break. Whoever stays curious and playful like a child will surf this wave. 4. Educate. Uranus loves knowledge, but not rote memorization. Learn to understand connections. Learn new languages. The language of tech, the language of astrology, the language of symbols. History is being written right now, and you are present for it, you aren't just spectators, you are participants. In 1942 to 1949, the world changed beyond recognition. From the ashes of the old world rose a new technological age. Now we stand on the threshold of the next leap. Don't fear the lightning. The lightning only illuminates what was hidden in the dark. Uranus in Gemini arrives to show us that our minds have no boundaries, and that we are more interconnected than we think. It's time for an upgrade. Are you ready?